Welcome to Living Intentionally. My name is Carmen Benton, your host. And today we're going to be talking about something that I'm very passionate about, which is life attunement and how to unlock your body's intuition. And for that, I have a very special guest, Elizabeth Carrington. She's a master certified coach and accelerated evolution practitioner. Elizabeth has been coaching, facilitating, and healing for almost 3 decades. Her joy de vivir comes through in all she does, including her latest offering, the Life Attunement Sessions, trademark. And these sessions identify any blocks you have to living your most deeply satisfying and fulfilling life. Her secret tool is body intuition. When you know how to harness the wisdom of your body, all you need is at your fingertips. Welcome, Elizabeth. How are you?
Hey, Carmen, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So Elizabeth and I met in a networking event and we immediately clicked with each other and we've talked a couple of times and it's been always a pleasure to chat with her. So when I learned what she does, I'm like, I cannot wait to have her in the podcast so everyone can benefit from it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, your journey? I know it's 3 decades a lot, but your journey, how you got into this field and where you are today.
Yeah, well, I got into the field a long time ago, back in when I was 28 years old, and I was searching for my career, and nothing really fit. And a friend of mine took me to lunch and said, I found your dream job. And I was like, great, tell me what it is. And he said, there's this profession called coaching, and there's this person who's kind of Thomas Leonard, who's like a CPA, but he's discovered that he talks to people more about their whole life than just their finances. And he's kind of pioneering this new structured field of coaching. And you talk regularly and you hold each other accountable and, all this stuff. And he said, you already do that anyway. So this is your career path. And I was like, huh. So I did. I signed up the next day for a coach training program, which was kind of new at the time. And ever since then, I've just been on the path of like how to allow people to create more freedom and empowerment. And I cannot help myself when I see somebody who's struggling with something or stuck in a certain way. It's like, I can't just sit there. I have to say, there's this thing you could do, or this thing you could try, or this book that I read, or this workshop you could take. And I just love doing that so much. And I've watched people over decades just open their lives, just open up more and more and flower and expand. And I just feel so blessed to have this like gift of like not being able to sit quiet when I see there's something that could be done to help somebody move along their path. So I've been doing that for a long time. And just in the last 4 or 5 years, I've discovered that there's more ways to access empowerment and freedom than just conversationally. And I've learned some energy tools and I've learned some processes that help people to go really deep into an old, intense experience, for example, and just kind of release the charge on that so they can be more free in relation to it. And so I've just, like all of us coaches, we just like to keep adding to our skill set and learning. So it's just been a natural evolution that I have these now. The accelerated evolution tools are incredibly powerful for releasing stuck energy and blocked ideas of who we are and thoughts of smallness that keep us in a fearful place in life, and just kind of letting them dissipate. So that's my latest kind of iteration.
I love that. I love how you said that. And I totally relate with what you're saying, because I always said that my magic, formula transformation is the combination between energy work and mindset. I am an energy healer before a coach, but what I do is I go in and release the pipe. I clean the pipe that you have all the blocks, but then you need mindset to keep the transformation. Because otherwise, it's like people winning the lottery, right? Like you might attract it, but if you don't have the tools to keep it, you will sabotage yourself. So it's very important, and it's great that people are evolving to actually, understand that it's not one or the other. You need them both. So that's good.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you talk about body intuition. Intuition is always have been something very, very important to me. I have thankfully never shut it down. And it actually saved my life back in September 11th. And so I've shared the story a few times, but I'll share it really quickly so you know how important this is to me and for whoever haven't heard it before. But after grad school, I had two offers to go work. One in Wall Street, 97th floor of one of the first the Twin Towers, the first one to collapse, and the other one was in California. And they both made the same amount of money at the time, but I knew that the Wall Street one was probably, higher income over time. I just couldn't get myself to take that job. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I told people, it's like, no, I think I'm going to go to California. I mean, California is beautiful too, but, it just didn't make any sense. Like, why do you go to Harvard if you're not going to be in Wall Street, right? And so I was like, I'm just going to go to California. And so I started my job in California, July 9, 2001. And just a few months later, the terrorist attack happened and everybody in that office died, everybody. So, I always follow my intuition, but that was like a really clear sign on my face that, this is a real thing. And I actually have been known by like canceling trips, changing plans, completely changing my mind because it doesn't feel good to me. So I am all over this technique that you use, with body intuition to, facilitate a life attunement. So I wanted to open the floor for you to share what is this life attunement. I don't know that everyone is, aware of what that means versus meditation versus attunement. I know the difference, but I would like you to explain it to our listeners.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So two things. I'll say what the life attunement is and then how to do it. So the first part is the life attunement process is really something I invented to help look with all of our facilities at what's going on in a person's life. It's kind of like a life x-ray. What's happening physically, what's happening mentally, what's happening emotionally, and what's happening spiritually. And physical can be like anything. The woman I do the sessions with is a medical intuitive, so she knows a lot about the area of physical health and well-being. So chronic pain, sleep issues, migraine headaches, anything that's going on, low energy, brain fog, anything at all, we can look at what's the source of the problem, what's happening, and what do you need to do. Sometimes it's a lack of minerals or vitamins. Sometimes it's an old trauma that has to be released. Sometimes it's an idea of I'll never be a good sleeper. I don't know. It's different for everybody, but there's a physical component. And then there's the mental and the emotional. The mental is the stories and the beliefs we have about ourselves, which keep us stuck, right? For some of us, those are unconscious. If you're not manifesting a lot of money, you may have an unconscious belief that I have to stay in survival mode. You wouldn't know that unless we did a session and understood the root cause of the issue, right? Or emotional, some kind of old grief or old energy that's emotional could be stuck in your being that's keeping you from expanding into who you want to be. It could be, there's hundreds of different emotions, right? So but a lot of times I said grief because there's a lot of times there is old grief from something that could be early in our life, could be in our 2, 3, 4 years old. Something happened or our goldfish died. I don't know, but right. There could be old emotions stuck. So clearing that gives us this whole feeling of rebirth. Like I have more of myself here. And then the spiritual is like, how on purpose are you in your life? How on your path with a capital P are you, And so everyone gets to see the whole range, right? And so that's what life attunement is, getting in touch with what's really going on and a map at what you need to do. What are the blocks for you releasing to be more alive and more free in your own life? And now,
before you go into the how, I was going to say, in other words, this helps you to live intentionally. And I don't want to make it sound like it's a plot, but like this is exactly what I wanted to bring Elizabeth to the show, because it's like, yeah, these things that she does totally goes with this sole purpose that I have to teach people how to live intentionally, not just autopilot. So anyway,
that's right.
Yeah. So now we're going to the how.
I love the synergy. So the how is that, so I work in partnership with another intuitive, right? And she is a master at listening to the higher self. I have all the questions. I have the process. I'm the excavator. I'm the sleuth, you know, trying to figure out what's going on. And she's listening. What's true? What's true? What's true for the person? What's true? Nope, that's not true. It's not old grief. It's old trauma. Oh, it's not this. It's that, you know. So somehow my hand got really.
I know. So do you have a question, Elizabeth?
Hi, I have a question about myself. Luckily, I'm with an intuitive, so I'm sure it'll come right through.
Right.
So anyway, so we are asking these questions, and what she's listening to is the higher self. So my idea with the body intuition is, okay, so we can sort of fish for you into your life attunement and what you need to do. But what I really want is I want to also teach people to fish. So how do you do that? You do that with attuning to your own body and your own energy field so that you can start to assess, am I a yes or a no for this? Is this true for me or not? Our bodies are like this tuning fork, right? It's somebody said to me once, our bodies are the only part of us that are actually in present time. Our heads are thinking about things and anticipating things and knowing things, and, you know, and our hearts are in some kind of an emotional flurry a lot. But our body is actually present. And you can ask the body a question and it will respond. It's like a cell in a petri dish. Like if you put a little piece of carrot in with the cell, it'll move toward the carrot. It's nourishing, right? But if you put a little rat poison in, it'll move away. It's biology. It's instinctual knowing, right? And the cell knows the truth, toward or away, right? So what I'm excited about sharing is how to like access your body knowing, because in that you can start doing your own life attunement sessions. Like you can start, like I go into a store to get a bottle of wine for dinner, and I'll hold up a different bottle and go, which one does my body want? Which one am I a yes for? You know, I use it for everything, and it takes a little time. It's a muscle to develop. It doesn't just happen like that, but it's totally developable. It's just like your tricep muscle. You have to do some weights, you have to flex it, you have to use it, but you will develop that muscle over time, you know? So that's my joy, is to bring people into the knowing that they have the answers all within them, literally in their own body.
Yeah, no, this is totally, like, I've been doing a lot of things like this in my life, but like unconsciously sort of like speak. When I go to a restaurant, I normally like, you know, just scan the menu, and I can feel the energy, and that's where I stop. And it normally I have the best dish on the table. And same, I think I mentioned this story to you when we chat earlier, like we were at a crystal store in Sedona, and it was like the biggest crystal store I have ever seen in my life. Definitely will be overwhelming, except that I was not, because I was just, you know, going everywhere with my hand and see what called me, right? And then I'll just pick this thing and brought it home. And my husband's looking at me, he's like, what do I need to buy? And I'm like, just feel it. Like, I don't need to close my eyes anymore because I'm really in tune with my body. But I said, just close your eyes and see, you know, what calls you. Right. And you can do a lot of things like that. So yeah,
I think it's good to know, and I'm sure you know this, but like that's a well-developed gift now that you have, right? And a lot of people don't have that, and they're like, what are you talking about? You are off of the grid, you know. So I'm here to say that even if you have zero knowledge of this and zero sensation, and you don't feel heat, you don't know, you don't close your eyes, you can develop it. Everyone has this in them. And even if you don't have the feeling of like, oh yeah, I can see that, that's okay. You can still do it. My best example is my own family members. They're very, my brother and sister-in-law, they're very skeptical. They're engineers and they're trained in science and they're trained in data. And so when I say that thing about the cell in the petri dish, they're like, yeah, okay, I get it, but that's not going to work for me, bless them. And so at the holidays, I just blindfolded them, and I had them in the kitchen. And I said, all right, I'm just going to hold some things up in front of your body and we'll see what happens, And it was just amazing. My brother's gluten sensitive, gluten intolerant. And I put a whole bunch of things in front of him, fruits and vegetables and whatever I could grab in the kitchen. And his body would just move.
Yeah.
And it was subtle. It wasn't like big. It was just a
Right.
subtle movement, just a leaning forward. And then I grabbed the rolls because his wife is not gluten-free. So I grabbed the glutinous rolls, off the counter and I put them in front of him. Remember, he's blindfolded. He had no idea. And his body went, whoop, like almost fell over, like across the kitchen. And he just took his blindfold off and went, what the heck did you put there? And I said, your body doesn't like this. And he said,
Poison for you.
no kidding.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And you know what? I think there's a lot of people accepting and awakening to, what it is. For the record, I'm also an engineer, and so is my husband. And I cannot be more left brain because it's not possible. And I can justify anything energy with actually data. And in fact, one of the latest things I'm getting into is biogeometry, and I'm obsessed. Obsessed because everything goes all the way down to the splitting of the embryo. I mean, there's so much data to justify or to just support energy and sacred geometry, everything we do. It's like, yes. So
yes. Wow.
Anyone who wants to argue about facts, you should come talk to me.
Yeah, totally. I love it. You're on it.
So as we said in the invitation to the podcast, we wanted to show you, and Elizabeth's going to do it with me, but you can tag along, show the audience how to do this. So a couple of things that we asked you to bring was, a pendulum.
Yep.
And one thing that you like and one thing that is not good for you.
Yep.
So I have here some essential oils, and then I have, definitely shouldn't drink this. Yes. My rubbing alcohol. Yes. So Elizabeth, tell me, what do we do? I'm your guinea pig here.
Okay. So let's start with the pendulum, just because I think there's probably a lot of people on this listening that already are familiar with that, but that's all right. That's and however you found your, we're looking for the basics right now. We're looking for your yes and your no. And some people also have a maybe or a kind of like a need more information sign, right? But if you just take the pendulum and you hold it, in front of you, and you say my name, or you actually don't even do that. Just say, show me my yes. And just kind of take a breath and just feel.
Show me my yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's always where my yes is.
Okay, perfect.
My yes is the circle to my left. So it's counterclock. Yes.
Okay.
Now show me my now.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. And do you have a meh, like a maybe? I'm not sure. I need more information.
It just doesn't move. So show me.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, show me, need more information. There you go. It kind of vibrates in the middle, like I don't know what to do. It's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah. So everyone at home, do that. Take your pendulum. Yours is not going to be like Carmen's probably. Mine is not like that at all. You're going to have your very own yes. And just hang out with it and just ask, show me my yes. And if it doesn't move, just trust that it will eventually. Take another breath, hold it in front of you, show me my yes. And then say something like your name. Say, my name is, okay. and see what happens. And just notice that you're in alignment with your name. That's true for you, right? And then say somebody's name that's not you, right? Say your son's name or your daughter's name or some other name, and notice what happens. And you may get it right away. And it may take you a few tries to go back and just say, you know what? I didn't get a clear response yet. That's okay. This is part of the building the muscle, right? So don't get rid of it because it didn't work. Just keep hanging in there and you will get a clear yes, no, and likely you'll also get a, I'm not sure, yeah. And just let yourself develop your own relationship. You're developing a relationship with this tool. I'm going to give you 3 tools today.
Okay.
You could spend a lifetime with just the pendulum, and that's great. And if you really take to that, that's awesome. But I want to give you a couple of other options because that one is not my primary. But it might be for you, Carmen, but for someone else, you might be more like my brother and sister-in-law and like start playing with the body. The body pendulum. It's kind of like a body pendulum, you know.
Interesting. And may I add something? I know you're the expert here, but one of the things this is what I do. For my clients, I know I can feel, I'm an intuitive, I can feel the yes and no. When I am asking something for myself and I might want something very bad, I actually use my pendulum because I don't want to interfere with the decision.
Yes.
And so that's what I do, just because I know, like, it's like, oh, I want this. Is it my brain? Is it my ego? Is it my heart?
Yes.
Right? With a client, because I'm objective, I really don't have any preference between a yes or no. That's very easy for me. But that might be something you might want to try. Like if it's something that you're asking for yourself, you might want something objective that is not,
Right. And I will add that sometimes there's emotional interference, right, with yourself because you really want something and you're convinced that you should have it.
Yeah.
And, so also it takes a little time to really get objective. I know for a long time, it was hard for me to be objective with my son because there was so much emotion there. It was easy with other people. But with him, it was like, which thing should I give him? Which thing does he need when he was a baby? I had so much charge, like I wanted to be a good mother and do the right thing. It took me a few years to really go, okay, how do I really settle into my own sense of groundedness, connect with the earth, maybe do a little meditation and then connect. Now I do it easily, but it took some time and I was naturally inclined to this and I believed in it and I watched other people use it, but I still had some static, so just to say, take your time with it and know that it develops your strength and your objectivity and your purity of that can develop over time too.
Yeah. And then the last thing with the pendulum is any pendulum will work. Doesn't have to be a pretty crystal. I've done this just with a pendant that hangs down. It doesn't matter. I also have, it doesn't matter. It does the same answer.
Yes, you can do it with a necklace. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. It could look anywhere. It could look like anything. It doesn't matter. So
that's right.
Because I have people like, oh, I just got the wrong answer because it doesn't look like that. It's like, oh no. They just don't like the answer.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What's next?
Okay, here's my favorite. I learned this a long time ago. I think she called it the occipital drop, which is the back of your occiput, right? The back of your skull. So apparently when your body is in, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like your occiput bone will actually change in the presence of you'll have a yes or a no in that realm as well. It's crazy, right? Our bodies are so incredible.
Yeah.
So the way you access that is if you just put your hands in front of you and you flip them up, just like you're flipping them up straight, right? You're going to get a yes or a no. So you're going to say, show me my yes again. So show me my yes. Now, when I do that, I notice that my right thumb is lower by a bit than my left thumb. That's my yes. It's not everyone's yes. So show me my yes. That's my yes. My no is my thumbs are equal. Right?
Okay. Let's see.
So give it a try.
And by the way, I never done this one. So this one is
great. Yes.
Show me my yes. Okay, so this.
So it's like you put your arms out and you just flip your wrists up.
Okay, like this.
Yep.
Yeah, so this one is higher.
Okay.
And I think, let's see.
Yeah, play with it.
Show me mine now. Seem a little more equal.
Okay, so say my name is Carmen. Do it again.
My name is Carmen.
Okay.
So actually, now looking, it's not. Do you
It looks
want
the
to
same.
spread it? Do you want to spread the fingers or?
Yeah, spread. I mean, it's the idea is you're doing it kind of nonchalantly. You're just so you hold your hands out in front of you and then just pop them up.
Yeah. Show
Flip.
me my yes. Yes, the same. It almost looks like this one is like shorter, like closer. Show me my now. Yeah, then the no, this one go closer.
Okay.
Okay.
So say something that is true for you, something you want.
No, I'm in Alaska. Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow. I wish.
Yes.
Yeah, so I can see it. It's really subtle, right? It's really subtle. But yes, I can see how that, you just gotta, I just said it's a muscle. You gotta like really.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Over time, it'll get clearer and clearer. It's the fastest, quickest thing. In the beginning, I was confused. I was like, is it this? Is it that? I was in a group of people and everyone had a different experience. Some people were so clear right away and I was mushy, which is okay, because you have to practice, right?
And that's what there are 3 ways, because you choose the one that speaks.
That's right.
Yeah. That's right.
That's what I wanted. I wanted people to have a buffet so they could really dig down into the one that was most resonant with them. So that's idea number 2. And access point number 3 with your body is just doing what I already shared about. So it's just standing up, and maybe you could stand up and bring your oil and your alcohol within reach for you, Carmen. I think it's easier when you stand up just to access your whole, So keep it away from you first. Ideally, somebody would do it, hand it to you so it's out of your field. Yeah, so just take a breath and just feel your feet on the ground. And just connect with your body and your body knowing. Oh, there you go. And you're just going to pick up either thing and you're just going to put it right in front of your chest. And just let it be there. And just let your body have a response to it. See if
it's totally going back.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, whoa. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So that's very clear.
Yeah.
So then
even though I like the smell of, even though I like the smell of it.
Yeah.
It went back right away, actually.
Right.
I have to say I'm shocked because I haven't done this one either. And I was
Yeah. Good.
So, you lean forward.
Yeah.
Lean forward.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, your body's so smart. It's great.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So then everyone, it will be super cool if you actually try them with us here, or if you're gonna go try them after the video is over, to put in the comments, which one did work better for you, which one maybe didn't work, and maybe Elizabeth can answer questions, give you pointers as well. So don't miss this opportunity to get this. It is so important to have a tool that you can rely on. I mean, literally, like, I invested some not insignificant amount of money last year on a program with a coach, which was fabulous, by the way, but I wasn't sure. Like, I was a little afraid. Should I spend the money? I had just quit my job, all these things. And I literally put a yes and a no on papers, and I took my pendulum. And by the way, I actually have an agreement with my pendulum and my spirits. And I said, I am not going to doubt the answer. If I get a yes, it's a yes. If I get a no, it's a no. End of the argument. Even if it doesn't make sense to me, I trust it.
Yeah.
So I shook the yes and the no, the paper, and I just moved the pendulum and said, give me a yes or a no. And I got a yes on top of one of the papers, and it was yes, invest. And I said, okay, didn't look back. And it was amazing. So,
Wow.
and then someone asked me later, oh, did you buy the program? And I say, yes. And she's like, how do you know? Because by the way, it wasn't very well explained. I just kind of knew that I needed to take this course.
Yes.
And I told her, this is what I did. I did paper with a pendulum, and I got a yes. So it's all in.
Yeah.
So I do believe I do use at least the pendulum in a daily basis, and I'm excited to the leading with food and other stuff too. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing all this.
You're welcome. You're
So,
welcome.
So now you use this on the attunement session. Tell us a little bit about the sessions and like how can anyone get hold of you and what to expect and all that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically it's an hour-long session. And I ask you in advance, what are your 3 or 4 biggest challenges? Like sometimes people have the one thing that's dogging them in their life and it's really messing with them. And then other times it's like, I have 3 or 4 things that I want to talk about. I have an issue with my partner. We're struggling around communication. I don't know what my job is, if I'm really supposed to be in this job or there's something better for me. I've got some chronic pain I need to deal with. And there's, whatever, my kid, right? My kid's stressing me out and there's something about the relationship that needs to shift. And I don't know what it is, but it's really hurting both of us, So we get clear on what the things are. And then we literally go and we connect with your higher self. We connect with you and say, all right, what are the blocks? What are the issues? What are the challenges? And what do we need to do? And at the end, I take notes the whole time. I send you the map at the end of here's what the issues were. Here's what you need to do. You got to get some stuff for your minerals. You're low in this mineral. Your bones are getting really shaky. That's why you're feeling achy all the time. You're playing sports and you're not replenishing your bones. It could be something very simple and basic, or it could be that there's some emotional blockage going on in you and your joints are achy all the time and you need to release that energy. When I had migraines for 39 years before I did this with myself, this is part of my inspiration for doing this with others. I tried everything under the sun. And I'm talking, I lived in California. And when I say everything, I mean all the usual things like acupuncture and homeopathy and herbology and naturopathy, but also like rebirthing and past life regression. And I mean, I tried everything there was to try and nothing worked. I just kept getting these migraines over and over and over again. Then when I did this life attunement session, which I didn't call until I named it after I did it. But anyway, when I did the equivalent of a life attunement session, it was like, oh, it's repressed emotion. It's repressed emotion. It's repressed emotion. It's repressed emotion. Here are the emotions. Here are the beliefs. Here's the emotion. Here's the belief. Here's the process you need to use to clear it. Here are the processes. Go do it. And it was like, I worked that. I mean, I worked it. And I thought there was no hope for me. Are you kidding me? 39 years of life, like in pain. And so I got my report, I got my map, and I went and did the work. And that's the needle mover. It's not getting you're going to in a life attunement session, most people are blown away by the clarity of what they get to see. Oh, that makes so much sense. Oh my God. That makes sense. I get it. But then you have to actually implement after that, right? That's where the magic is, right?
Right.
You change your life when you implement using the tools and using the insight. So it's an hour session, you get the clarity, and then you have to go do something to follow up, and sometimes it's a coaching, and sometimes it's a healing session, and sometimes it's energy release, and sometimes it's vitamins or minerals that you're low in. It's a whole host of possibilities. But what I can guarantee you is it's exactly and precisely what your higher self is in alignment with. I can give you 10 kinds of vitamin C if you need vitamin C, and your body's like, nope. And you're just peeing it out, right? But I give you the one that your body's a yes to. It wants that vitamin C. And some of our bodies are very particular, especially us sensitive types. We just want the exact thing. And then our body just eats it up. Oh, that's so nourishing. I'm so happy. I feel so much better, But the other ones, it could be great. The research says take vitamin C if you're feeling this, and it just, your body isn't receptive to it. So this is going to give you the exact clarity, right? To have the thing you need. So.
And the thing that's coming to me, and this is coming straight. Um, this happens a lot of times. I'm in a podcast and I re-listen to it. It's like I have no recollection of having that conversation. I don't think this is going to be the case. But anyways, what's coming to me right now is, and I've been talking with my clients a lot about this, is that people sometimes judge what they eat. Like, oh my God, I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm eating, I'm craving so much potatoes or chocolate, right? And now that you're talking, directly with your higher self, it could be a chakra imbalance. What's keeping you, all whacked, right? Like headaches can also be your third eye opening. Maybe you're coming into awakening and your higher self knows this, right? So therefore, you either have to disconnect that chakra, which is why you want chocolate or wine or sugar, or you have to open the other chakra, which for that, you probably need someone who practice with energy like myself or, someone else. But yeah, this is really interesting because, a normal person who is not in this field all day long would not know, why am I craving potatoes? Why, I cannot stop drinking wine, right? And, you can have answers. And yes, the everything you said, it makes so much sense. And it's like, this window to clarity, and, clarity is amazing. It's priceless.
Yes. Something that's coming up right now around weight is a lot of people's bodies seem to want to be shifting from carbo or sugar burning as their source of fuel, which is so natural and easy for us to do because we're all snackers and eaters of, chips, as you say, or whatever. But then moving into fat burning, right? Which is a shift in the body's neurology and chemistry, which makes you more clear of thought. It gives you better sleep, more energy, all the things, right? All the things that people are wanting more of these days, which they're using caffeine and sugar to try to get themselves up, but actually it's not serving them ultimately, So anyway, that just seems to be a theme of people's bodies want to go into a new mode. They want to access what's in their body that's excessive to release it, whether you're just a few pounds overweight or you're going through menopause or you're a lot overweight and you're just not happy with your body. You don't feel that aliveness and energy, weight can be a big drag on the system, so that just seems to be a theme that's showing up. Different themes come at, how this works, different times, right?
Yes.
But
well, this has been really enlightening, Elizabeth. I really appreciate that you came and joined us today and taught us these amazing things. And we're going to put the link on the description of the podcast so you can reach Elizabeth if you want to, get in her bubble, schedule a life attunement session, or ask her a question directly. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up this amazing episode?
No, I'm just so grateful to be here. I'm grateful we met and connected, and I'm just, thank you for saying yes and inviting me and just playing with me. It's been wonderful.
Yes. I mean, it's really one of my passions, and I truly feel like I am here to make sure people just awaken to, the expansion of the universe, right? Like, I mean, we can be all things that we want. We don't have to be one thing or another. And I can be called woo any day of the day. And as I said, I'm also a left brain person, and they don't have to be mutually exclusive. So,
no, I love it. Bring it together.
Yes. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Please let us know in the comments what's your favorite modality of trying to try your body intuition. I'm so excited to hear that, and I'll see you next week.